Welcome to Accelerate Your Wealth, a podcast by Rebecca Robertson, founder and director of Evolution Financial Planning. This series, we're focusing on female financial independence, looking towards a stronger financial future. Be sure to let us know your thoughts on the show, and please do connect with us on Facebook, LinkedIn or Instagram, or head over to www.rebeccarobertson.co.uk.
Hey, it's Rebecca here, and I know you always get asked to leave reviews on podcasts. I know. So as a way of saying thank you, to encourage you to go over there and leave a review, I'm going to offer a copy of my book, The 10 Ways to Accelerate Your Wealth, and the Wealth Accelerator Planner. So all of that is worth around £30-40. All you have to do is go onto the platform that you're using to listen to this or watch, and type a review or leave a comment if it's on YouTube, and then email us rebecca@rebeccarobertson.co.uk with your screenshot or just a link to your review, and that will enter you into a draw to win the book and the planner. We'll be doing a free draw every month. So the next one will start on the 1st of September, and then the each rolling month thereafter. Sending you lots of love, and thank you so much. I hope you're enjoying the show. And I'm joined by Maddy Alexander Grout. Is that correct?
Maddy Alexander Grout. Yeah, it's a horrible name, isn't it?
Well, I quite like Grout. It sounds like
it sounds posh.
Yeah, I tried to make it sound very posh for you. Maddy is the owner of the business My VIP Rewards. And I've invited her along to this podcast show today because now I think saving money, budgeting, that kind of word language is in the past, and even still today, has a, if you like, a bit of a label that you must be skint. You must have no money, you must be struggling, and you don't have enough money to go around. Now, that's not really the case. Actually, a lot of my clients who invest, who save, are actually not saying very, I won't say they won't call themselves good with money, but they would say that they become more careful because they start to see what it looks like when you start investing and you start putting that money aside. You start to then get a feel for it, and then when you start to understand how much you need to put aside to retire, to have a better lifestyle, you then start to adjust how you're spending, and you start to prioritize your money monthly on a different basis. So now at the moment, where we've got the cost of living going up, and just the last couple of days I've seen that they're projecting, please, I don't like scaremongering, but they're projecting increasing costs due to inflation to be as much as 18% for April 2023. So I think we all need to get super smart with our finances, with our money, whether it's budgeting, saving, or investing, or all three at once, so that you can maximize your financial position, save for the future, and create financial stability, and for women, financial independence where possible, or certainly financial security in your relationship, so you're not 100% reliant on somebody else. So that's why I do the show. That's why I've invited Maddy today, and I'm sure you can resonate with lots of things I've just said there, Maddy.
I can indeed, yes. I think a lot of people think that you can't save money, invest money, and grow your money at the same time, but I seem to be doing okay at all of those things. Yeah, at the moment anyway. I think it's going to get a lot harder over the next year. There are a lot of things that people can do to minimize their risk, and one of the biggest things that I would recommend people to do is actually sit down, look at your bank statements, and work out if there's anything that's non-essential that you can cut. And by non-essential, I don't mean things like haircuts or beauty treatments, because those things make us feel good. They actually validate us as people, and those are things that actually I would class as self-care. But things like, are you getting like 4 takeaways a month? Could you reduce that down to 1 takeaway a month? Are you buying things on Amazon that you don't necessarily need to be buying? I always have a rule where when I'm shopping on Amazon, I keep something in my basket for 72 hours,
right,
so that it's not an impulse buy. because I have ADHD, and my ADHD and my money do not often go that well together.
I hear that a
Um,
lot. Yeah.
my spending habits are quite crazy if I don't monitor them, because I get that dopamine hit from spending. So that's how my
So
story started.
typical. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about why you started My VIP Rewards and
Yeah.
where that all become.
So my story is a bit of a long one, but I will keep it abbreviated. And basically, it all started when I went off to university when I was 18 years old. My parents had always been very, very good at educating me on money, so I knew that I shouldn't spend money if I didn't have it. They taught me about saving. I had a junior ISA. I invested in that, and it was all very much, they focused on educating me about the value of money and how to earn it, how to work hard, and all of that sort of stuff. But what they didn't educate me on was credit. So when I went to university and I was presented with 6 different stands at Freshers' Fair, all lending people money, they just seemed to make it sound like it was free money, and I had no idea what I was letting myself in for. So I went crazy. I signed up for 2 loans and 4 credit cards, and I very quickly got myself into about 27 grand's worth of debt,
Right.
which was incredibly stressful. It
Yeah.
was I had an amazing time spending it. It was great.
And I got into
Genuinely,
debt myself as well. I was 21 and I got into a lot of debt. I had a car
yeah.
accident and I had a car loan, I had credit cards, and it was all, most people I come across have had some sort of debt at some point.
Yeah. But the thing with debt is, if you know how to manage it, it can actually be very useful to you. So if you've got a credit card and you're paying it off monthly, or you're at least, paying your minimum payments, you're making sure that where you can, you've got interest free. I didn't know any of this. And when the letters started to come in demanding payments, I hid them under the doormat. I ran away from them. I actually ended up moving cities to get away from my problems. Little did I
Wow.
know that they actually
They
had ways
follow
of
you.
following you. Yeah. And I had bailiffs knocking at my door.
Wow.
At one point, they took my telly, and it was a crap telly. It was really not very good. So I don't really know why, or what value it would have bought, but they had to take something, and that was the only thing that I had. So it got really stressful, and I realized that I needed to do something.
Yeah.
So I started to think about how I could pay these debts off. And I worked out that if I carried on at the rate that I was going, it was going to take me 60 years to get rid of all my
Nice.
debts.
Yeah.
It was going to take a very long time. Citizens Advice Bureau recommended the 50-20-30 rule, where you spend 50% on your bills and your rent, 30% on things like food shopping and things that you need in your everyday life, and then pay 20% off of your debts. I knew that that wasn't feasible for me. And I think having ADHD came in handy at this point, because I hyper focused and I went, right, enough's enough. I'm going to pay that debt off. So I changed it to the 50-40-10 rule. And I spent 40% of everything I owned on paying off my debts every single month. And then any bonuses that I would get on top of that, I would also just bulk pay off bits. And I started with the
So you
smallest
didn't do
ones.
you didn't start, so you didn't think to yourself, I'll just take out an IVA, or I'll just go, CCJ, and it'll be gone in 6 years.
No, because I wanted to buy a house, and I knew
Right.
my credit rating wasn't very good at that time anyway. But I
Mm.
knew that in my future I wanted to buy a house, and everybody I spoke to just said protect your credit rating at all costs. So
Yeah.
I decided that that was the way I was going to do it.
Hmm.
And it was hard, and I lived on tin tomatoes on toast and yellow stickers from the supermarket. I shopped for yellow stickers 6 times a week.
Wow.
I had a store cupboard, staples cupboard, so things like pasta, rice, lentils. And every time I went to the supermarket, I would stock up on one bag of something. So I always knew that if worst came to the worst, I could just have cheese on my pasta, and at least I'd have something to eat.
Yeah.
And there were times where I thought, I genuinely don't know where my next meal's coming from. And it
Wow.
was very scary. I actually had a really nasty incident happen. I was about £15,000 away from paying off the last of my debts, and I had a house fire.
Oh
Some
gosh.
some students who were in the flat above me, they left a barbecue running on our roof terrace, and the entire roof just went up in smoke. Like, it was an absolute disaster. I remember the fire brigade waking me up at 3 a.m. going, you need to get out, your house is on fire. And I could see stuff falling from the roof out of my window. I could see all these flames, and I just thought, oh my God, it's terrifying. And we went outside in our dressing gowns and we just watched the roof as it just burned. And it was horrible. And because my flat was directly under where the fire was, although none of my stuff actually got burnt,
Got ruined.
it got ruined by water damage from all the firemen's hoses. I remember when I went in to see if there's anything salvageable in my bedroom, there was a pool of water in the middle of my bed. It was just like this deep, like just massive. It just ruined absolutely everything. I had electrical equipment, I had sofas,
I can imagine. Gosh.
all of the expensive clothes that I bought with all of my debts. But there was
Wow.
there was very luckily a silver lining. So I actually ended up getting insurance money through, which came to about £17,000. So I made the decision that I was going to pay off my final 15 grand with that money. And with the 2 grand that I had left over, I decided I had to restock. I had no life, basically. So and 2 grand doesn't go very far when you're clothes shopping. So I went and decided to become a charity shop thrift addict instead. So I rekitted my entire wardrobe through charity shop shopping. And I had a little bit left over to spare. So I went to the British Heart Foundation, got all of my furniture from there. And I realised that actually my life didn't need to be that materialistic.
That's amazing. I love that. I think that I talk a lot about consumerism, and that we're taught to basically get into debt as a society. As a society, we're taught to buy a house, get to more debt, have a car loan to get into more debt, to buy a bigger house to get into more debt. And you basically spend 60 years of your working life paying off debt. And we're taught that as a society. We're taught that's what, as a consumerism, they want us to do, because that's what makes the banks money.
Exactly. So basically I was then debt free. I wasn't happy, I would say. I had a job that I hated, like really hated. I was working in recruitment for a company that I really didn't want to work for. So I decided that actually enough was enough, and I applied for a new job, which was working in change management, so dealing with like more HR kind of onboarding type things. Got accepted. I was in the job for 6 weeks and I found out I was pregnant. And what I learned at that point was that my employer was amazing, because I said to them, I had no idea I was pregnant. I'm really sorry. Like, please don't fire me. And they were like, we're not going to fire you. We really like you. You're really good at your job, so don't panic. Also, they couldn't really fire me. So it was a blessing in disguise. But what did happen in my mind was I was thinking, oh my God, I'm going to have a baby. This is horrible. I mean, not horrible.
No, not the baby part.
Not the baby part, but I'm going to get into debt again because I wasn't really ready. I still hadn't bought my house by that point. My credit rating was on the mend, and I knew I had it in my kind of plan to buy the house. So I basically just started to think, how am I going to get through this? And when my baby was born, by that point I'd actually bought my house, and I was a little bit more savvy with what I was doing with my money. And it became increasingly apparent that having a baby was, yes, the most expensive thing ever. I needed all the stuff for their nursery. I needed like new clothes every 5 seconds, toys, and going out and socializing. And I had the idea that I could start up a discount card locally to help parents in my local area to save money on their everyday living expenses. Fast forward 5 years, we've won 19 awards. We've been featured in every single national publication going. I've just been on Talk TV this week talking about the rising cost of living crisis. I've got my own TikTok channel, Mad About Money, which helps people to save money on their everyday living expenses. And I have the My VIP Rewards app, which is so useful for people right now with the cost of living crisis, because it helps them to save money on just about anything that they spend on.
Brilliant.
So
one of the things that you mentioned, it does 5% on supermarket shopping, and you said that the average person spends £300 a month on shopping. Now, I'm shocked by that, because and I thought it'd be more than that. When I speak to clients,
I think it is.
they generally are more than that. But the odd one, they say to me, oh, I spend about £60 a week on shopping. I have to do budget planners to work out mortgages and work out affordability for investing and all kind of pensions, and so budget planning is a big part of my job. And like but I spend much more than that, like much more than that. I mean, I would probably say up until recently we were spending £160 a week on shopping, and then we would get to Wednesday and we still wouldn't have enough food in the cupboards. We were just buying rubbish. It wasn't even decent stuff. And then we would get takeaways at the weekend because we didn't have enough stuff in the cupboard. And so then now we know, we're obviously recording this in August, we know October's coming with the price increase of gas and electricity. My children go to private school, the school fees are going up, everything's going up. There is like the available cash is like, okay, this is getting squeezed now.
It is, yeah.
And so I decided I was going to go to Aldi. And we normally do Sainsburys, and I went to Aldi and I bought a big like shop of basics, not like fresh food, but I just wanted to get all the shop washing powder, everything. And I reckon that's going to last us 3 or maybe 4 weeks. And then we've carried on with our shopping, but I've dropped all the brands. So I don't do any brands. I still buy Sainsburys, but only do Sainsburys brands. I don't buy, even if they're basics, I don't buy their tasty stuff, whatever they call it. Just the brand. So no Walker's crisps. I got the Sainsbury's crisps, but stuff like that. And now my weekly shop last week was, I think it was about £85.
Yeah.
Which for me is massive. And I only spent about 80 quid in Aldi. So overall the month, I don't know, I probably need to work it out because it's still early days, but I've saved an awful lot by doing that.
And Sainsbury's now price match Aldi as well.
They do have it on your app. You go on your app and it says price match. So I figured I didn't really want to reinvent the wheel by going to Aldi because I don't like actual shopping and wandering around. I spend more by wandering around.
I hate the fact that you have to like, there's no bags and it stresses me out. Not a fan. But no, with Sainsbury's, you save 4% with my VIP rewards. How it works is you buy a voucher, you pay less for it up front, and it also helps you to budget throughout the month as well.
Right.
So it's really useful, really useful. I mean,
so you might save 5% through my VIP rewards. You get 5% off any shopping.
No, so it depends. So Tesco's is 5%, Sainsbury's is 4, Asda's 4, Morrison's is 4, but that's basically the lowest discount other than Amazon that you can get. So Amazon's 3%, so you can save on everything you buy through Amazon. Most of our discounts are 10% plus. So we have stuff like Costa and Clark's for back to school. We have days out. We've got holidays. We've got meals out. Essentially, if you're spending money on anything that you would class as like a nice lifestyle, then this is something that you really need to be considering.
And how does it work then? So you buy the vouchers through the rewards?
You buy the vouchers, they get emailed to you instantly, you spend them at in store like cash. So
so if I was on my app on my Sainsbury's, could I spend it on there?
No, well, you can use it with Nectar, but it's all in store.
I see, right.
So one of our big core values is that we want people to shop locally. Now, shopping local doesn't necessarily just mean supporting small businesses, although that is a massive part of what we do. But shopping locally is, reducing your carbon footprint, not traveling too far to go to the supermarkets. But and I get people saying this to me all the time, but surely your carbon footprint's better if you're at home shopping online. It is, but that doesn't help with jobs.
No.
So we like to create communities. We help people to actually be able to support their local community, and whether that means your local guy who picks up the trolleys in the supermarket car park, because those people will probably eventually be out of a job, which is very sad. So we try and get people to actually shop in person. But
and you mentioned
average sorry, I was just going to say, like, average savings for a year, and I've saved way more than this because I use it for literally everything that I do. £500 is the average, but in 2019 I saved £1,680.
Wow.
Yeah.
A lot of
So
money when you've got gas and electric going up by that much. That can be
it
a real
is,
difference to
yeah.
people.
And we've actually just added in an energy comparison as well to what we do. So I've got a little side hustle where I help people to look at their gas and electric bills to see if they can save on those as well.
Amazing. So you was also talking to me about days out and about Christmas shopping, but particularly with things
Yes.
like Argos and Currys, the gaming. So now people might be starting to thinking about buying the Christmas presents and
Yeah.
spreading the cost over the next sort of 3 or 4 months rather than in one go. So now that for me is an issue because I can't hide them in my house. The kids will find it. But I will put the money aside and then buy in bulk
Yes.
right
Yeah.
at the last minute, because that's the only way I can do it. But again, I think it comes down to shopping around and not just relying on Amazon, right? Because I sometimes find I tend to go to Smith's Toys and just have X amount of money in my back pocket and fill up the trolley and then pay for it. But I save for that over a period of months. Some people do that through Amazon, having the Amazon deliveries, but I don't find the toys sometimes are as good as quality when you buy on Amazon. So what could we be doing to support local communities when it comes to the Christmas shop?
So in terms of Christmas shopping, first of all, we have 3,500 independent retailers, and so many of them provide gifts and handmade things. My ethos is that small businesses keep this company, keep this country
Yeah,
going.
totally, they do. Yeah,
And they're struggling. Everybody's struggling. So if we could just buy even just one Christmas present from a local business, my VIP rewards can help you to save 10% plus on that order. But it just puts money back into local communities, which helps everybody to thrive.
no, I love that, and I am a bit of an Amazon. A lot of people are. So I don't mind admitting it. You get lazy, and there is a separate version of Amazon where they give like so much back to a charity. I forget what it's called, but there's another version of Amazon where they basically give money back to. I think it's communities abroad. It's not necessarily in this country.
Okay.
But I love the idea of buying more locally. So for example, I'm in Kent. You're far away.
Southampton.
Yeah. So is it national? So wherever
It is, yeah. So
Okay.
so most of our retailers, they either ship or and also you can use your My VIP Rewards subscription wherever you travel in the UK.
Right.
So it's not just about local, it is about high streets. We've got about 2,000 high street rewards. We've got cash back for when you shop online. So if you don't want to go out and actually physically go to a store, you can shop online and still save money. So it's just about thinking about what you spend and could you be saving on that spend. So if you don't want to cut out those takeaways because they're part of your lifestyle and you're being
You
lazy
like
like me, because half the time I've even if I've got stuff in the cupboards, I'm like, I don't want to cook.
No.
So I don't, and that it does all add up. But when you can save on Deliveroo and Uber Eats,
Yeah.
at least you know that you're saving on your takeaway spend.
Yeah.
Rather
Is that on the
than,
app? Is that on the My VIP rewards as well? Oh, amazing. Okay, great.
There's so much.
Sounds like there's so much. So you can the link will be in the show notes. So please go and check out Maddy's My VIP rewards and see if you can save some money on your weekly shop or Christmas presents or birthday presents, anything that's coming up that you're buying. See if you can buy locally and help support smaller businesses wherever you possibly can. Now, before you go today, Maddy, have you got any tips about how people can save money when it comes to their gas and electric over the winter?
Yeah, so I would recommend that if you're not on a fixed rate at the moment, look at it, because the price rises are set to go up by 81% in October and then another 20 in January, then potentially another 40 in April. So
yeah, and that is all a little bit speculative at the moment, and we don't know what the government are going to do, which is my biggest issue. They are doing a handout, so the average increase is around £80 a month from October, which the handout should cover. And what they're going to do about prices, who knows? I did a cost comparison. I know who your Utility Warehouse. I love Utility Warehouse. I also like their points card. They have like a credit card.
Do you know what the good thing about the points card as well is that it works hand in hand with My VIP rewards. So
I wouldn't expect it to not, Maddy.
No, so you get 1% cash back anytime you spend with Utility Warehouse's cashback card.
Yeah.
If you buy the vouchers from My VIP rewards, you also save on the vouchers, so you're getting double discount.
Perfect. So I love what they're about. Now for me, I've took the risk. I've increased my payments up to what Utility Warehouse said that I would be paying from October for now, and I'm actually in credit now. Now I can afford to do that. Not a lot of people can afford to do that. I'd ride out the additional cost. It's a complete Russian roulette. It can go one way or the other.
It is.
But by next April, if prices are lower, then I'll benefit from that. Someone that's fixed won't. It just depends if you want to take that risk. I didn't take that risk with my mortgage because I think that's a longer term issue, and base rate won't drop.
Short term debt is more pressing at the moment, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
But if anyone wants more information, then just get in contact.
Of course. And anything they can do around the house to, you know, I've done a one recently about the cost of living, and I talked about buying duvets now while they're cheaper, buying blankets now, stock up on logs. Is somewhere in your loft, go and buy some insulation for it now, because it'd be cheaper now than what it will be at that time, and put an extra insulation in your loft. Is anything like that you'd recommend people to do?
Weirdly, get draft excluders. They really help, because then there's not going to be that cool draft going around your house. If you can get away with turning your thermostat down by 1 degree, that will save you money every single time. Make sure that you're turning appliances off at the wall. Even your microwave, the clock on your microwave can cost you up to £65 per year just by having your clock on your microwave. So
turn stuff off.
Yes, turn stuff off at the wall. Make sure that keep doors and windows closed if you're not in the house. Turning off lights, I mean, that's a bit of a no-brainer, really. Fans, especially at the moment, so lots of people leaving fans running. If you're not in the room, don't have a fan going.
No, definitely not. Good tips. Thank you so much for joining me today. Is anything you'd like to any last sort of nuggets for anyone before we go?
But I mean, please do come and follow my TikTok. It's Mad About Money. And if you want any more information about my VIP rewards, it's myviprewards.co.uk. Thank you for having me on.
Oh, amazing. I've really enjoyed it, and congratulations to you from where you've come to where you are, and what you're striving to achieve. I love what you're doing, and you know, we're here to help wherever we can to spread that message. So let me know if you need any help in the future.
Oh, thank you so much. Lovely to be on.
Take care.